When Americans fall on hard times, there's a safety net for them. The government provides money for food, housing, health care, and other things so they have a way to survive. Those struggling to put food on the table can get an EBT card, also known as food stamps. For housing, there are housing subsidies. Those without jobs can collect unemployment benefits. Here's the challenge. The government is simply handing out money and then sending people away in isolation and not empowering them to eventually move off of assistance. More and more people believe they need some type of government program. Once they're in the system, many of them find it difficult or impossible to leave it. It's not right when the safety net turns into a trap, one that people cannot escape from. Trapping people in dependency isn't the goal of government assistance. And it isn't compassionate, not to the poor who deserve a better life, and not to middle-class workers who foot the bill. Instead, Congress should encourage the right type of tax reform and economic policy. This will encourage job creation in the country, so people have access to better opportunities and less chance of becoming dependent. Indeed, we do need a safety net for the elderly, the disabled, and those who cannot work. We've gone through tough times and need to provide unemployment benefits temporarily. But for too many, government reliance has become a way of life, especially for those on food stamps. Our federal assistance programs need to be redesigned and updated so that the people who need short-term help can get it faster and then transition successfully to independence. When we go into economic downturns, more people need government assistance, so spending for aid goes up. But when the economy recovers, even though fewer people need the programs, the spending stays the same. That's wrong. It makes sense for assistance spending to rise and fall with actual need. So when the economy recovers and unemployment is reduced, we should expect total welfare spending to be reduced to pre-recession levels. But this has not been the case. You may have heard about the 29-year-old California man who can work but doesn't want to. Jason Greenslate uses his food stamps to buy things like lobster and spends his days surfing, drinking, and chasing girls. And after an Orlando TV station exposed how EBT cards were being used at liquor stores, strip clubs, and casinos, Florida Governor Rick Scott earlier this year signed a law banning their use at these establishments. Able-bodied adults with no dependents, like that surfer, should be required to work or actively seek employment in exchange for food stamps. Unfortunately, the Obama administration used the 2009 stimulus bill and then its executive authority last year to waive important federal requirements, ones that ensure that a portion of able-bodied welfare recipients engage in work activities. These bipartisan work requirements were a key part of the welfare reform legislation in 1996 that was passed by Congress and signed into law by President Clinton. It's wrong for the Obama administration to undermine them. Many welfare recipients draw from more than one program. Sometimes this is a necessity, since different programs meet different needs. But other times there's duplication, waste, and even abuse. It's time for an independent audit of federal welfare programs to assure that resources aren't wasted or abused, so the people who really need the help can get it. That's only fair.